Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Good morning and welcome to Dominion Television, the channel of choice. This is Dominion Sport, and I am Abe Paul Toluwanimi. And with me this wonderful morning, I have Samson Balogun ready to talk sport with me this morning, the man with unbiased analysis and undiluted report. Also, I have Fola Egbe with me this morning, ready to talk sport also. And like we say, we'll be looking at the camp of the Super Eagles this wonderful morning. And also, Shooting Stars are in the news this morning. I will be looking at the newly, structure at Jericho. I'll be talking about the games ahead of the weekend right there against Ikorodu City. Also, Taiwan Awoniyi is in the news. And also remember, we have the US Open on the menu this wonderful morning. All right, let's go on a break. And when we are back, we'll be talking Shooting Stars.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Welcome back from that short break. The show is still Dominion Sport on Dominion Television, your channel of choice. Of course, we told you earlier that we have a lot to unpack on this show. Of course, sit back and relax as we have so many things to bring to your table this wonderful morning. All right, we'll be starting from the home scene as the chairman of Shooting Star Sports Club of Ibadan. They are making so many changes, and of course, let me take this. Chairman Honorable Taiwo Salami is steering transformation at Shooting Stars SC on and off the pitch. The renovation of the Jericho Club office is a clear sign of progress and commitment to repositioning the historic club. And when you see the current video being played on your screen, you realize the fact that some changes have been made. And I want to ask Fola Egbe this morning. You will see the video will be played shortly now. And you see some transformations that have been made at the club before and after. You are seeing that right now. Yes, you see what it used to look like. Yes. And of course, shortly you will see what it currently looks like. Some changes have been made on and off the pitch. What does that say for the branding and of course the future of Shooting Stars Sports Club?
Shooting Stars is telling its fans that Shooting Stars this season we are ready and we mean business. And we're a very serious team this time around, and we're making effort to make differences to the disappointments we've giving you all these years, and now we're going to try and make you feel, impressed with us, be happy with us, and encourage more fans to come. That's it. All right,
Oluwanimi, I want to quickly say this. If you look at this office from outside, if no one was sitting inside, you would ask yourself a question. Is this a store? Or some people actually use this office. You look at how unkept it's looked, and the question, you begin to ask yourself this question: is this how we want to continue to run things?
For me, honestly speaking, it's really, really sad to see the situation of Shooting Stars like this. But I think it's a new era at this point in time. And the chairman, Honorable Lekon Salami, has said, I'm bringing a new dawn to Shooting Stars. And he's starting with, we saw the management, change of board. We saw new players. Right now, he spoke about, changing the face of the Jericho office. And that's what it's doing at this point in time. And you look at the facility, you beg to wonder, how do we, produce something like this? And it's sad to see this, but he has come to say, come on, I'm bringing a new change, I'm bringing a new era, and here I am, and there you have it. After it looks amazing, but I know there's still more changes. For me, I think we need to start getting the result. We are seeing the new dawn, but the result must also show, on the pitch, because you said off and on the pitch is what we are seeing, but result must come on the pitch also for me. But this is beautiful. It's a step in a new direction, and we are open for more things. Honestly speaking, when I saw the trophies on the floor, I would have suggested, we have a cabinet.
I was about to say that.
We should have a cabinet for that. Also, a new development can also happen that, we have, a museum to show, everything that Shooting Stars has won over the years, so that people can also, we can use that as an economic tool, for ourselves going in. But I know, it's a process, it's a step in order, and it's a good direction for me.
Okay, now, very quickly, let's also talk about the fact that Shooting Stars will be playing at home against Ikorodu City, and some changes have been made. We've seen how the lads are working on the field of play to see that they are in good shape ahead of the next home game. Now, the question is, when you check their page currently, you see things that you have never seen when it comes to the MPFL. Now, statistics of players are being released. And this, though it's taking time, but on a good day, developed countries, you will see it is dropped almost immediately after the game. But even though it's taking time, they are releasing statistics, and it's not a thing we have been saying before. But like, what does that say about the current trend with Shooting Stars?
It shows that they're trying to say that they're also improving, and they're also involving, should I say, technology that they didn't have all these years, and at cost so much setback in keeping data and player stats that they didn't have all these years. They're trying to say, okay, we're making effort to see fans shooting, wow, we're making efforts and we're trying to impress you this new season.
Okay, Toluwani.
Honestly, for me, I think the new media team are doing something fantastic. And, when you look at it, you want to give the young ones a chance, to prove themselves. And I think that's what they're doing at this point in time. They have looked at, the top 5 leagues in the world, how they do their thing, and they want to bring it, to Shooting Stars, a big club that everybody across the world, know. And at this point in time, when you look at the player stat, it shows that you as a fan can monitor, what the progress of the player, off and and on the pitch right there, and it shows that there's progress. You also look at everybody. We have a physiotherapist at this point in time. We have a gym instructor. We have psychologists. We have everything in place. Going forward. But my worry right now is that it must reflect on the point, on the field of play. You can have all this. I was speaking to one of the media team this morning, and I was saying, come on, fantastic job. I love what you guys are doing. And I said one thing, I said, people are waiting for result. And he said it. He said he knows that they are feeling the pressure already. You can come out and give us, the Premier League standard of the media space. But at the end of the day, when you look at it, you beg the question, you're not getting the points, in the locker, and you're just showing us graphics pictures for us. You're giving us renovation of what it looks like, what to understand. I don't care about that. I can as well go to a Premier League or, La Liga and begin to look at, beautiful pictures and whatnot. But this is Shooting Stars. We want to see progress. You have said over the years, Samson Balogun saying, the fans need to be patient, and I can understand that. But I think the time is now. We need to get results. And talking about Ikorodu City, I think that's a major game where Coach Nuruddin Awerowo needs to prove himself to say, come on, I coached this team, last season. I can do better with Shooting Stars, and we must get all 3 points on our home soil.
All right. Away from there, let's take this quick story. Nigerian international Taiwo Awoniyi is in the news as he was not included in the Nottingham Forest squad for this season's UEFA Europa League. Awoniyi's omission was confirmed when Forest unveiled their squad for the competition. However, his Nigerian teammate Olaino was included in the squad. Notable names who were included in the squad are Chris Wood, Nico Williams, Morgan Gibbs-White, Douglas Luiz, and Callum Hudson-Odoi. And of course, the Forest will take on Midtjylland, FC Porto, Malmo, Braga, Utrecht, Stormgras, and Real Betis in the league phase of the competition. I know it's currently in the Super Eagles camp ahead of this month 2026 FIFA World Co-op qualifiers against Rwanda and South Africa, but Awoniyi did not make the cut. Now, this is really sad for Taiwo Awoniyi at this time. He got injured sometimes a few months ago. And in fact, it was between life and death. He survived it, came back, and of course, he hit the ground running, even though he has not been a mainstay in the team. He has not been a regular. Chris Wood, pushed him to the bench. But then, why is Taiwo Awoniyi not in the 11, in the squad for the UEFA Europa League?
For me, honestly speaking, when I got the news this morning, I kept wondering, I kept asking the question, what did he do right, this season? Because it's still hours of the season. And when you look at, the attacking options of Nottingham Forest, you beg to wonder, you don't have so many options. So why, picking, Taiwo Awoniyi, among the squad players for the Europa League? And also, not taking anything away from Taiwo Awoniyi, fantastic player. Before the inclusion of Chris Wood, you saw what he did with Nottingham Forest in his first season. Even from the German Bundesliga, what he did right there. Coming to Nottingham Forest, fantastic player on his day. But I think even before the injury to last season, he had some issues with injuries that detailed him for not having key position. That's where you saw Chris Wood. So the problem is with players is that when you go off injured, you should be praying that the player coming on should not pick up form. And you can't put it. Chris Wood is quite old, but what he did for Nottingham Forest last season, amazing. If you look at it, he made the PFA team of the season. And almost 20 league goals. When you look at Chris Wood, also almost getting close to Didier Drogba. On goal in the Premier League. So it begs to wonder. Chris Wood has done something fantastic, but I'm worried for Nottingham Forest at this point in time because, you know, you can't bank on Chris Wood because his you know, age is standing on the side already. You know, for a competition like Europa League, you need an experienced player.
Really
like, if you want to compete, you need an experienced player like, you know, Taiwo Awoniyi. You remember also back then in Germany, he also played in the Europa League, so he knows European League football better. So I think he should be, you know, for me, in certain. Also, congratulations to Ola, you know, for making that list. Fantastic player right there, day in, day out.
Yeah, for Laegbe, is this a signal to Taiwo Awoniyi that he might just hit the roadblock at Nottingham Forest?
It might be a signal, but let's look at it on the other side, on another point. What if the club is actually trying to, you know, maintain? You know, you said he had an injury.
He had an injury.
They're trying to let him get back to form,
full fitness.
And you know, they are the ones paying him. They're trying to. Is an investment. They are trying to keep their investment. They are trying to, okay, this is our money. This is the money. This is the person we pay monthly. This person we pay.
Manage him?
How do we manage him? We are trying to get him back to form. You said he's a good player. He's a wonderful player. He gets goals, but we don't want to lose him. We don't want to lose that goal-getting ability.
Honestly, for me, you know, another thought right here is that, you know, if only you're going to promise him that I'll be starting Premier League games while Chris Wood will be starting the Europa League game. So let's say we can shuffle it. We know Nottingham Forest are in all competition this season, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, Europa League. So maybe they're trying to see how they can games to play. So maybe Awoniyi will play at these games while Chris Wood will play this game. But I think, you know, for me, I would have preferred Taiwo Awoniyi to play, you know, Europa League games. But like you said, roadblock, I think he's just eating the roadblock because, you know, Ramos had it that, you know, it looked like a player leaving Nottingham Forest, but at the end of the day, he's still with the club, right there, boy. It just looks like a sign that, you know, maybe come January, we might not see Taiwo Awoniyi in the Premier League with Nottingham Forest again.
Depending on how they might play, at least 40 to 60 games,
60 games
this season. Yeah. And they have a very thin squad. As I see it, 2 seasons ago, they bought so much player, but some players have actually left the team and they play for other teams now. So they have a thin squad. That might just be a reason why they are trying to see how they can make it work in the team. And I think at Nottingham Forest, as we speak, there isn't too much investment. If you look at what they did in the transfer window that just closed, it's not like they got too many players like that. They tried to maintain what they had on ground, and that might just be a reason why they are trying to see how some players will fit in. And then Awoniyi, as we speak, they might just think he's not reliable when it comes to injury. On 2 different occasions last season, he was out for a very long time.
Yes, so
they don't even know what the season holds for him. So they might just think of you know, trying to manage
just like Folayegbe said, you know, just trying to manage him. But also looking at the attacking options for Nottingham Forest right here, you know, Taiwo Awoniyi, you have Barry Adams, Hutchinson Omeri, you know, Igor Jesus, Jota Silva, Ndoye Dan, you know, right there from Bologna. Fantastic attackers also. So, you know, there are several options, you know, out for Nottingham Forest, but we hope that, you know, this is not a roadblock for Taiwo Awoniyi, and we hope to see more, you know, playing good football for Nottingham Forest, because he wants to also be, you know, he will want to be vying for the World Cup ticket if we're able to get that ticket right there for the World Cup.
All right, away from there, we are done talking about Nottingham Forest. Let's talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria, as there's a lot to talk about this morning. 2026 World Cup qualifier, full house in Uyo as Osime, Chukwueze, Arokodare, Uche hit camp. Super Eagles head coach Eric Shells now has all invited 23 players at his disposal for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Rwanda and South Africa. Galatasaray striker Victor Osimhen, Samuel Chukwueze, Tolu Arokodare, Rafael Onyedika, and Chris Santos Uche all breezed into camp on Wednesday afternoon. Those side started preparation for the crucial qualifiers on Tuesday. The Super Eagles will have another session inside the main bowl of the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in New York later in the night. The first 15 minutes of the training, which will commence at 6 p.m., will be open to the media. Nigeria will host the Amavubi of Rwanda in a match day 7 encounter on Saturday, and the encounter against South Africa will hold at the Toyota Stadium at Bloemfontein next week, Tuesday. Now, all the players are in camp. what should Eric Shells do differently this time? He has been in charge. He has had 2 games, 1 draw, and of course a victory. And the other one was meant to be a victory until they conceded in the last minute, and then it ended in a draw. We saw some players who put in a lot into that game, but they were livid as they eventually drew that game. They thought that was going to be a leverage to qualify for the World Cup. But at this time, what would be Eric Shells' strong point, judging by the fact that with the number of players he has divided and the quality of players in the camp, Tolu?
I think for me, the key word that you used last was quality of players. I think yesterday we spoke about it, saying, when you look at, the squad list of Nigeria compared to other African countries, you look at it as one of the best lists in the world. You can compare that with, you look at other leagues, countries, Spain, Germany, and you put Nigeria side by side. You look at quality players, they had Victor Osimhen, the last time out at the Ballon d'Or, they made the top 10. Ademola Lookman, the CAF Award. Look at Samuel Chukwueze. You look at Calvin Bassey this season. Alex Iwobi, fantastic player. You look at Rafael Onyedika, Frank Onyeka. You can pick, the goalkeeper standing one. We should not be at this stage at this point in time, and it begs to wonder what do we need to do right. But for me, I think Eric Shells has this all to do at this point in time. He has the quality of players and that can bring in results day in, day out on a good day. And for me, going into this game against Rwanda, I think the players now need to speak to themselves. I know, Eric Shells would have so much to say to the players. They would have the training, but I think the players also need to call themselves to order because, yesterday we were speaking. I said, when you look at all these players, none of them have played in the World Cup before. Aside, William Troost-Ekong, that played right there with Ahmed Musa and the likes of in Russia. Thank you so much. But aside from that, you look at those players. Victor Osimhen, if he doesn't make this, we need this ticket. We need this game, and we get all 3 points against Rwanda. We get all 3 points against South Africa. It does not still guarantee, but at this point in time, getting the 3 points is enough. It brings them closer, to the World Cup ticket. So for me, I'm going to be looking at Eric Shells saying, "Come on, should we rather play, 2 strikers, in the same position? Let's see what Victor Osimhen or maybe Tolu Arokodare can do in front of goal. Maybe that will bring the fear, to the Rwanda right there at the home ground and give the fans, something to cheer on. Or maybe let's put in, let's put Arokodare on the bench and play maybe the Moses Simon, like you said, who's playing an attacking position for Paris. But I think the main key point is going to be the midfield position for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, because right now we have not had a proper 10 for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You see Alex Iwobi, playing a deep, role for Nigeria. You wonder, you should be the one creating the chances, for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But most of the time, you look at the wing play. We've always played on the wing. But let's come back, because look at the time of the likes of Justin, JJ Okocha, distributing the ball, Orima, Obodo, and the likes of that, distributing the ball perfectly, to the striker. Take on that position also. And, Alex Iwobi needs to come to play for me. Ademola Lookman, match fitness might be a worry for him, so he might not start. But I think Moses Simon would be playing, and also maybe Samuel Chukwueze would be playing also. But I think the defense also, they need to wake up to reality, saying, come on, we need to keep it. If Victor Osimhen is getting the goals, I think we must defend also. We must keep it sealed, because we saw, his anger, when they considered, it was like, come on, so you should do your work also, come on. So I think that's what.
Let's do a breakdown of the team as we speak. The analysis of Bali was Joshua been injured. I came back to training with Chippa United, and he's in the team. His chances of being in goal in the game against Rwanda.
It's 100% for me, because I don't see anybody. I don't know if for us and other opinions. I don't see anybody.
I was already doing like this.
I don't see anybody displacing. I don't see anybody displacing Sterling Nwabali, except for if it's not fit. That's the only reason why we might see Amas, Obasu take on that position. But for me, it's going to be Sterling Nwabali, all day in, all day out for me.
Okay, in defense, what would have in Bassey or Laino? These are quality players. So, what would your composition be?
For me, it's going to be Troost-Ekong and
if you had to choose, based on their performance so far this season for their various club sides.
For me, my only worry would be Troost-Ekong, not having game time, because we have not seen any, of his game at this point. Maybe starting, but I know it's going to be a worry, because of experience. So it's going to just start with, Troost-Ekong, whatever the case may be, and Calvin Bassey. But my worry is Olaino. I think it needs to always cut in properly and get the crosses better. We saw what he can do, with Nottingham Forest and over the years with the Super Eagles. But I think it needs to bring that delivery, properly going into this game. Get the crosses in for me and get the, all your players, getting on the head or getting your feet in front of goal right there for the Super Eagles.
Okay, let's now see your midfield composition for the Super Eagles. Quality players in midfield. What would it look like for you?
For me, it's going to be Wilfred Ndidi, playing the 4, defensive usual suspect for me. And, but over time, if you look at Wilfred Ndidi, at Leicester City before he moved to, Turkey, Bekistas right there, he played a little bit forward with Leicester City. But I think at this point in time, he needs to relax. Down play for us, be the one controlling the midfield at this point in time. The anchorman dictates, what needs to be done in the mid, because that's the engine room of the Super Eagles. I think people don't know that is the engine room of the Super Eagles. You mentioned several names right there over the years. That's the engine room of the Super Eagles. We have fantastic forward, wingers, but that's the engine room of the Super Eagles. So Wilfred Ndidi needs to come and play. It makes me remember, a certain player also, for the Super Eagles. I'm trying to get the name right, but once I get the name, I'm going to mention it to you also. But that's the engine room for the Super Eagles. Also, you look at Wilfred Ndidi.
You're talking about Ogeyi Onazi.
Onazi, yeah, come on. I just wanted to mention Onazi right here. You look at it makes me remember when we played France, and immediately they knocked him out of the. It was over. So when you watch the game against France, I looked at it. I'm like, they need to do something to hold this people, and immediately they understand that if we take this man out, it's completely over. And that happened. Immediately they took him out of the midfield. That was all. And we started to mess up. We could not get the ball right again. We struggled and we didn't get the ball right again. But, Wilfred Ndidi will do something fantastic, right there. And also, for me, it's going to be, Alex Iwobi, like I said, needs to come to play. He really needs to come to play for me. And, maybe Frank Onyeka also playing. Rafael Onyedika also playing for me. So
now,
that's for me.
For you in midfield, Eric Shells, since he came on board, has always preferred an out-and-out, defensive midfielder right there. But would you prefer a deep-line playmaker for the Super Eagles?
For me, I think I'm going to prefer a deep-line playmaker actually, because that's what you need to take the play for the Super Eagles. You need someone to dictate who's going to control the ball, who's distributing it, to the strikers, to the wingers, and against Rwanda with some misplaced passes, and you beg to wonder. Come on, are you playing professional football? Is this Alex Iwobi playing
football? Doesn't that have a lot to do with communication?
It has so much to do with communication for me, synergy with the players. But right now, we have used this team over the years. So I think the chemistry is there. You look at these players, these are the players that went to AFCON. They're still together again. So the chemistry should be there. We should not be having problem with who am I giving the ball to, who am I not giving the ball to, where's this player at this point in time, where's the current position at this point in time. So it should not be a worry. It should not be a worry for me.
Now let's talk about attack before I go to Fola Egbe. The Super Eagles attack had an array of stars. From Moses Simon, Victor Osimhen, Tolu Arokodare, and of course Samuel Chukwueze, Cyril Desas also there. These are quality players. So what would be your ideal front three for the Super Eagles against Rwanda?
For me, it's going to be Moses Simon. Like I said, Ademola Lookman might just get the notch, but I don't think he should get the notch because of match fitness. But if he's, showing in training, he's in shape in camp and in training, he can get the nod. But for me, it's Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze, and Victor Boniface. But I would love us to have, a two-striker, playing that role just for me. And also, I think I don't want to leave out Christensen Uche.
I was about to talk to him that if your first three does not include Christensen Uche,
I think, but I think if you can play Christensen Uche, maybe bring him to the midfield position a little bit. Let's see what he can create, for the strikers and the wingers for the Super Eagles. I think he has something to prove also for us. But I think my front three will be Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze, and Victor Osimhen, in front of goal.
Chris Santos Uche, just about 3 years ago, was playing in the lower divisions in the Spanish La Liga. And then, boom, you got to Getafe, and now in the EPL.
Fantastic player. So when you look at players who have done it, over time, and they get to where they are at this point in time, I think we just need to celebrate them. Well, I saw a post for that, and Sam said I saw a post actually of Wolverhampton Wanderers and Fabio Silva. The same pattern words, for both players. She just looked like copy and paste. Maybe Christensen Uche, Fabio Silva, with the same word, but come on, it is It is what it is. It is what it is. Well, you know, I'll be hoping to see Christos Uche, you know, start this game against Rwanda, maybe come up the bench to prove something. But for me, I think, you know, if the players, you know, that are starting the game can get the goals in, I'm sure we have our players who can come up the bench, you know, to get the goals for the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
So, like, what would be your ideal Super Eagles team against Rwanda?
Like you said, in fact, I don't want to ruin his list. I don't want to ruin his list because
if you have a different idea,
yeah, come on.
I agree with most of, in fact, practically everything is said, and like he said, in our forward also, it should also be two strikers, yeah.
If you play two strikers, meaning you will be playing with wing backs.
Wing backs actually.
Automatically, you won't have to play strikers. Wingers.
So if you play with two strikers, it still says maybe you might not play with wing back there. Maybe you just have two midfielders, you know, holding the ball. So it's just going to be it's going to be an issue. You don't have somebody creating for you again.
Maybe you are going to play inverted wingers. When they go forward, and then there's nothing to do, they come back to the midfield.
So that begs the question of Ola, you know, it is not a man you can rely on when it goes forward to return back immediately. So it's stressed.
His recovery rate
is not good with that. So I think it's okay. You know, maybe let's just sit with Victor Osimhen, the threat man, you know, in front of goal,
you know,
and let's leave it like that.
I actually don't feel we should put Olajuwon in the team because, like you said, Nottingham Forest this season, he has started all their games. And Nottingham Forest hasn't. Okay, they won one.
That's not down to Olajuwon. It's down to
no. You don't understand what I'm trying to say. He hasn't been consistent.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying I do not want us. I don't feel we should start him in this one.
And let me say this very quickly. Yeah. I think his performance last season almost earned him a move away from. I think Manchester City was on his case at the point.
Yes. And immediately you saw Nottingham Forest approaching him with a new contract. Come on, because you know you did something fantastic. You know,
we can't let you go.
We can't let you go.
He's one of the players who can play both on the right and the left. At the point, he doesn't even know which of the legs is his favorite.
At this point in time,
he was a left back at Chelsea. Yeah, played at defensive midfield. He also played as a right back.
Disagreeing with what I'm saying.
Okay. No, I'm just trying to say what he's capable of doing as a player.
But this season he hasn't been consistent.
Okay, so for you, if you're not going with Olajuwon, who would you prefer, you know, to start from?
Maybe Benjamin Fredericks. It was outstanding the last time he played.
You know, with the friendly right there at, you know, against Jamaica, right there. For you, would you prefer Benjamin
Fredericks to Olajuwon?
Should I?
All right, away from there.
Should I?
If you don't want to, anyway.
It's fine.
Well, let's take this particular story, still coming from Africa, this wonderful morning. The controversy centers around South Africa and, of course, the African midfielder, Teboho Mokoena. And that's talking about the World Cup qualifiers. Geno Rock, the coach of Benin Republic, has raised questions and questioned FIFA about the silence of South Africa's controversy, and as the South Africa fielded a player that wasn't qualified to be on the field of play. And then FIFA is saying that he has called on FIFA to enforce disciplinary action against South Africa for fielding an ineligible player during their 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying campaign. And according to reports, controversy centers on South African midfielder Teboho Mokoena, who featured in Bafana Bafana's 2-0 victory over Lesotho. According to reports, the 28-year-old had accumulated 2 yellow cards, one against Benin Republic and another against Zimbabwe, and should have been suspended for the Lesotho fixture. Now, Raw, speaking in an interview with reporters, expressed frustration over FIFA's delay in issuing a ruling, with key qualification matches set to be played this week. Now, it is not normal that we don't know the situation about the points on the log, and of course, before our games this week. It is very, very strange. Normally, South Africa should lose 3 points, and those points should go to Lesotho. But nobody knows why FIFA has not taken this decision. South Africa currently top Group C with 13 points, 5 ahead of Rwanda and Benin Republic, and 6 clear of Nigeria. The Super Eagles are scheduled to face South Africa in a pivotal encounter in Bloemfontein on Tuesday. Lesotho sit on 6 points, while Zimbabwe at the bottom with 4 points. Should FIFA ultimately rule against South Africa, a 3-point reduction could significantly alter the group standings and reshape the qualification landscape with only 4 rounds remaining in the qualifying series. Tolu.
For me, honestly speaking, I think I don't know why.
One of the reasons Nigerians will relax, there's a chance they would qualify. They think that FIFA would eventually remove 3 points from South Africa and award that to Lesotho. But as it stands, for the last few months, FIFA has been silent. So what's the point? Why are they silent?
So that's the question I'm about to ask. So why have you been silent on Lesotho? Why are you silent on this issue?
I think it should be Lesotho that should raise this issue.
Not even
they're not saying anything.
Not even gonna run side or talking about it because we don't know why they are not talking about it, and it should not be at this point in time. We don't even need Lesotho to talk about it because it's a standing rule. It's a standing rule. It is already. So if a player should not be in the game having 2 yellow cards at this point in time, I think we should not just be talking about it immediately. This happened. The point should be deducted, or maybe South Africa should have a case to say about situations like this. But for me, I'm wondering, why we're still having this, and I'm sure if FIFA comes into this action and the point is deducted, it's going to change the landscape of things right there in the group for Nigeria. But I'm sure, we should not use that. We should not have that in our mindset. Our focus should be the 3 points that we want to get against Rwanda and South Africa going forward.
Yeah.
Okay, Afola Egbe, do Nigeria still stand a chance of qualifying for the World Cup?
We should. We should. Well,
are you being optimistic as a Nigerian, or with the mathematics on the table?
I'm being optimistic.
Okay.
Let me be optimistic, please. But we should actually qualify, because if we are willing to actually put our all in this game against Rwanda and the next game against South Africa, we should. And if FIFA actually does something about the 3 points, we should, because when you were talking about it, I wanted to ask that, okay, why hasn't FIFA done anything? Maybe in the first place we should ask the question of, does Lesotho have a strong football association that can actually say, FIFA, do something for us? Or as the South African Football Association that we definitely know has more, firepower, influence in FIFA than the Lesotho. Have they gone to maybe talk to Lesotho and say
they probably bullied them to sign.
You understand? That's what I'm trying to say. That have we looked at all this question, like, as South Africa?
Honestly, for me, like I said, I don't need Lesotho.
Lesotho shouldn't have to make the complaint.
They don't need to even make a complaint. It's a standing rule. That's
it wasn't even anyone that noticed. It was FIFA that noticed.
As the South African Football Association actually gone to FIFA to actually beg some people to keep quiet.
So the point is,
because we're in Africa, we should all these things happen.
It's understandable that we're in Africa.
In the world, we're human beings.
Honestly speaking, so I think that's the mindset that belittles we as Africans. Because at this point in time, if we say we are Africans and we should be doing pali when things are not right, then that's why the Europeans are better than us at this point in time.
No, I'm not saying I
know. I'm saying that, you saying that, if the South Africans, maybe they have gone ahead to say, come on, let's just, sadden this case a little bit, let's allow us to be at the World Cup. They can say, remember, we hosted the World Cup in 2010, give us the pali, look at what we have done with African football, this and that. But I'm saying it should not be. If that is the case, it should not be. And also, Lesotho should not even be talking about it. FIFA, it's a standing rule. Yes, to come out and say, okay, yes, we noticed something like this. Why is this happening? Yeah. And this is the case. If you cannot defend the reason why this happened, I'm not even sure there's a need to defend it, because there's not need to defend, because it should be deducted.
In fact, that week it happened. So it should be. That did not happen.
So now, the fact that it did not happen that week is now being elongated to where we are at this point in time, because we're talking some 3-4 months right now, and we're just talking about it now. I think it's I understand what you're saying. It's a big issue, but I think for me, that should not be the case for the Super Eagles. Like Samson said, I think our focus should be we should not relax on that. Even if they deduct the point or not, our focus should be getting 3 points against Rwanda, getting 3 points against South Africa.
Okay, now away from football right now, let's talk tennis, and of course let's head to the Flushing Meadows, the U.S. Open. And yesterday, Amanda Anisimova says she rewatched a heavy Wimbledon final defeat by Iga Swiatek to inspire her to the most meaningful victory of her life over the second seed in the U.S. Open quarterfinal. 53 days ago, Poland's Swiatek demolished Anisimova 6-0, 6-0 to win the title in a one-sided showpiece at the SW19. But the American showed her true capabilities with a 6-4, 6-3 victory in a high-quality match in New York. 8th seed Anisimova said that she watched the final back for the first time, for the first night before the Flushing Meadows matchup. Now, she went back to her mistake and corrected it. What does that say about tennis as we speak?
No, for me, honestly speaking, I think for athletes or or a sport person that you are, if you're coming to competitions, it's okay to go back to the drawing board to say, okay, what can I correct properly? What mistake did I make in this round? Sometimes it works for you, sometimes it does not work. But aside from that, aside from doing your own work properly, you must also come in as an athlete to say, this is the game plan I must use, to approach this game. And I think she did that, against Iga Swiatek. Nobody expected that. I did expect Anisimova, to pull off that one against Iga Swiatek. Iga Swiatek in a good form, a good day. Something fantastic. She's a wonderful tennis player. You look at the record, you look at the Grand Slam. She has achieved for herself right there. This is what she can do on a good day. But Anisimova nicking that one through and having to face Naomi Osaka. Fantastic. It has opened the floodgates for entertaining a U.S. Open for us.
Naomi Osaka defeated 11th seed Karolina Muchova. And that's a set of a mouth-watering semi-final between these two. It will be Amanda Anisimova against Naomi Osaka. What does that look like for you?
First of all, I don't think we're actually commending Naomi Osaka. She's back. She's back.
It was a resurgence.
Yes. It is a resurgence because when you look at the people she defeated to get to this stage, you're like, okay, Naomi is back because she defeated Coco Gauff. Coco Gauff was the American favorite. She was the one they wanted. Like they want in that game.
The poster girl for the
competition.
Yes. And I am so impressed with Naomi Osaka getting to this stage. And in this game, I'm scared. I'm tense. I'm actually, fearing for Naomi Osaka in this facing Amanda Anisimova.
But for you, Fola, you said Naomi Osaka defeated Coco Gauff, and Anisimova defeated Iga Swiatek. So two going into.
That's why I said for this game, I'm actually scared for Naomi because. You're looking at how now Anisimova got to this stage too. You'll be like, okay, she did.
She did work.
Because if you look at Iga Swiatek this year, she has not disappointed. So getting to this stage and getting to this stage by defeating Iga, I'm scared for Naomi, but Naomi is she's a technical player. She might lose this set, and then the next set you're like, okay, Naomi's coming back, and that other player is wondering, I won that last set. How is she coming back? So Naomi is a very technical player, and she's a consistent player. So for this game, I'm actually scared for both of them, because we cannot decide yet.
So, all right, the other semi-final will be between Aryna Sabalenka and Jessica Pegula.
For me, I've already decided. Aryna Sabalenka has won.
For you. So are you saying it's going to be a piece of cake?
No.
But Sabalenka is very tough.
She's tough.
She is tough. And look, Sabalenka, whenever she's playing, she's like, when she's returning the ball, and she's like, and I'm like, calm down,
why the sound?
And I think for me, she's playing her favorite court at this point in time.
Yes, she is. She's a hard court
play. So, and I think this one thing, Jessica Pegula, I should be worried about, but not taking anything away from Jessica Pegula, fantastic, tennis player on a good day. But maybe we might see, at this set, maybe forced to game set 2 or game set 2 right there in the U.S. Open.
Okay, let me now put you on the spot, Tolu. Aryna Sabalenka, Jessica Pegula in the semi-final. Amanda Anisimova and Naomi Osaka too. Who are you seeing in the final as you speak?
Okay, it's going to be Aryna Sabalenka and Naomi Osaka for me.
Aryna Sabalenka, Naomi Osaka. How about you?
You already said my players.
Okay. That solves it.
Too technical to
we'll come back here to
right.
we'll come back here to discuss this.
Definitely.
But away from there, let's take a sporting story from Europe, and of course, it's in the news that Jamie Carragher has maintained that it doesn't like Chelsea's new signing, Alejandro Garnacho. And why? Let me take this. Jamie Carragher, ex-Liverpool defender, has criticized Chelsea's new signing, the summer signing, Alejandro Garnacho. Carragher said that he didn't like Garnacho being on his phone while he attended Chelsea's Premier League 2-0 win against Fulham last weekend. Garnacho had joined the Blues from Man United for a reported 40 million. The Argentine was present at Stamford Bridge on Saturday to watch Enzo Maresca's side defeat Fulham before his transfer move to the Premier League side. Now, what does that being on your phone have to do with, being at the stadium?
So,
why does Carragher have to
me,
dislike a player for being on his phone?
Honestly speaking, for a man with own goals, without a goal, you look at the record, it does not have any goal to show for it.
That's too much.
It's just own goals, and you sit behind the mic and talk, just to put your name out there. And I think one thing the English media likes to do is to talk. I think they actually thrive on that. That's their forte. They want to be on that space, right?
Yeah,
So it's okay to talk. No problem about that. But speaking about Garnacho in that light, I don't know what pressing your phone. I'm not on the pitch, so am I supposed to?
Maybe I think let me be the in-between person here and say maybe Jamie was feeling he should not be on his phone. He should be watching what is going on and taking notes. Okay, if I do this, he was in class. Yes, he was. No, maybe like you were talking about the Nigerian football team earlier and saying, in those days, whenever they bring in a midfielder and the midfielder makes a difference into the game. Garnacho is he might not, but he felt. If Garnacho maybe had been watching the game and maybe if they brought him in, maybe he would know what to actually put into the game. Maybe that was what he was saying. Let's give them give him the benefit of the doubt. I actually have nothing against him pressing his phone. I mean, you are touching your phone and we're on screen.
It's not hindering. It's not even on the bench. It was not even on the bench.
It was more or less like a spectator.
A spectator. So
it should have been. That's what he should have been taking notes. That's what he wanted him to do.
All right.
Or maybe he just had issues with him from the get-go.
Very quickly before we go, teams like Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool released their Champions League squad, and they were. The usual suspects, and going into the season, do you think all these teams have enough players to execute the number of games they're going to play this season, especially for Liverpool?
For me, I think if you look at all the clubs in the Premier League that signed their players, you look at the quality of players they signed, then you look at the team A, you look at the team B. If team A is not getting in the goals in the Premier League, I think team B, should be doing that going forward in the Champions League. So I think for Liverpool, fantastic signing, day in, day out. You have replacement for every player. So you look at Arsenal to replacement for everybody. You look at Chelsea replacement. So I think it was strategic signing for club side this season because you look at the competition, making a statement, saying come on. So there's no room for error. There's no excuse. Saying even Martin Odegaard is not injured, you have a problem to say because Martin Odegaard did not start or is injured. That's why we're having an issue. So come on, we can go on and on about that. But strategic signing and massive one going forward.
All right, that will be the convenient point to draw the curtains on today's edition of Dominion Sport on Dominion Television. Thank you, Toluwani, for being on the show this morning. Thank you for joining us. All right, until tomorrow, we shall be meeting again on another interesting edition of Dominion Sports. I say keep being good out there. Of course, keep being fit. Bye for now.